Now, utilizing my A minor pentatonic scale, my concept of emphasizing a 1 or a 4 or a 5 in my 12-bar blues perspective. Okay, now remember, blues doesn't always follow the rules, and I want you to remember that. Blues is kind of its own weird thing because you're playing a major chord progression, yet you're capable of soloing minor pentatonic over the top of it. Now, I'm going to keep giving you lots of different options of things that you can do, but right now we're going to stay with that, okay? So this is a chord progression, or this is a 12-bar blues in the key of A. And what I want you to start thinking about a little bit as we continue to do these things, we're learning all of our notes and chords and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chords and all that kind of stuff. And now we've got this beauty of trying to emphasize a note. We're trying to emphasize the 1 or the 4 or the 5 in various places. I want you to really truly start learning how to listen to the progression that you're playing over. And we'll talk more about this as we keep going. But not just playing, but listen and see. This is going to sound weird, but see if your brain, see if your fingers, see if your body tells you to do things, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about creating a theme by learning how to listen more. We're going to think a little less about where we're going and what we're doing and all that. We're going to start trying to just listen and see if we can create some themes. Now, how would we create a theme? Well, one way is by creating some phrases, which is playing with I just call it resting or stopping. You're going to play and then stop, and then play and then stop, and then play and then stop. And the goal is not to make the same sized phrases, but to make them different. Sometimes you play longer, sometimes you play shorter. Sometimes you play longer or faster, sometimes you play slower. Different things like that. But I am a slave to that rhythm pyramid that we've discussed, okay? Understanding that if the rhythm is doing this, I'm thinking about bum 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 bum. I can go off and completely avoid that rhythm pyramid sometimes and just go crazy, and it's totally fine. But again, I gotta come back to that once in a while. Otherwise, what I'm doing is completely irrelevant. Think about it. If you didn't obey the concepts of the rhythm and you didn't try and play any notes or emphasize notes over certain chords, what are you doing? And the answer is nothing. You're just moving around. You're missing all the essential elements that make music music, right? It's like going, okay, singer, I want you to sing, but you don't have to sing in my key. You don't have to pay attention to my rhythms. Just do anything. It would be chaos. Tell all your band that. Drummer, just do anything you want. Guitar player, you play in the key of L. It doesn't make any difference. Everybody it'd just be crazy. But yet as guitar players, sometimes we think that that's the way playing is. Don't get me wrong. We all play, I call it brainless because I do it too. We all play brainless. We all move around and do, I don't know what I'm going to do next. But if that's the entire solo, chances are you're never going to grow much, and you've got way more chance for failure because you're relying on the planets to align. You know what I mean? If we start thinking logically about things, we can start implementing some of that element of logic into our playing. So here's a progression in the key of A, okay? Okay? So right there, what I'm doing is I'm trying to hear what's happening, and I'm trying to respond by playing with dynamics. I'm playing long, I'm playing short, I'm playing fast, I'm playing slow, I'm playing soft, I'm playing loud. Okay, now don't get me wrong, I don't think that what I just played was so amazing. It's not that. My goal is to try and take whatever it is I'm doing on this instrument and make it fit so the listener listens and goes, yeah, that'll work. Right? If they're really impressed, that's great. But at the very least, my job is to sell whatever it is I'm doing on this instrument so it sounds like it fits, right? If I just do this, it has no rhyme or reason, it has no purpose. I'm just moving, just brainlessly moving around. Now, I can use that, again, sometimes I can use things like that. But without elements of rhythmic logic and pitch logic, I'm left with nothing. So I want you to really think about those things, okay? You're going to keep trying to create themes or thematic ideas in your playing by starting and stopping, and start targeting pitches, okay? You're going to start doing all kinds of different things like that. Okay, we've already talked about bends and vibrato. I'd be using those all over the place, but I'm just trying to get my point across, okay? So we want to keep using those. Now, over this particular chord progression, another thing I want you to do too is to keep working with meandering. Now remember, meandering is not a musical element necessarily, although it will lend itself to your ability to move across the guitar. Its purpose is to see how long you can move brainlessly through the positions without stopping. So if I was playing over this progression, let's say I was going dun 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 dun. Whatever it is that I'm doing like that, I just want to keep going, right? I'm getting some weird sounds from there. But what I could do then is try and do it at eighth notes. Okay, well, let's call these eighth notes. So I'm moving to 16th notes. You see how long I can move without screwing up too bad, right? And again, we can use a metronome for meandering. It's something that I talk about quite frequently, is learning how to meander, but it's really developing my ability to see and my ability to move across the fretboard at various speeds within the context of my rhythm pyramid. Once I've got the ability, then I can start kind of messing around with movements and stuff and all that sort of thing. So lots of really cool stuff that we're covering right now.